pointing it out for what it is. And so it's clear to me Mark Golding made a calculation. He made a political gamble yesterday. And you know what, Tana? All things considered, from start to finish, I think he won. After landing his blows in the parliament, he delivered an effective, fiery press conference at his West Kings House Road offices. That, coupled with what was, in fact, an effective presentation on the floor of the House, which hit several important points up to the point of the premature termination, means Mark Golding won the day. He won on politics and he won on policy. Only the most uncharitable observer would seek to take that from him. And yes, there is no obvious distraction from the substance of what he presented. But is that trade-off fatal to his objective? I don't think so. Because what does he gain instead? He gains the opportunity to cast himself as a victim of government retribution and retaliation. He gains the opportunity to cast himself as a champion for the people silenced by a government that did not want to be criticized. That is a powerful political rallying cry. Again, yesterday was about politics, plain and simple. And we fool ourselves into thinking it was about more than that. And then in many ways, Mr. Golding was assisted in that yesterday by the reaction of the government benches. The walking out of the House of Representatives and the termination of the budget presentation of the leader of the opposition was simply wrong. Make no mistake about it. The opposition leader has the absolute right to be heard in the House of Representatives. That right is all the more amplified when he speaks in the budget presentation. That's the business of the Jamaican people. And no matter how intolerable the Prime Minister may personally find the comments, using the government's majority to effectively silence Mark Golding on the House floor was a profoundly undemocratic act. It played to the worst perceptions of this government. The Parliament is not the sole province of the executive. It ought not to be allowed to silence criticism it cannot withstand. What's more, the Prime Minister, come Thursday, will command the bully pulpit and will have a prime opportunity to respond to Mr. Golding in full. He will have his opportunity to rebut and rebut forcefully. It was therefore not necessary to set in train this unusual break with parliamentary tradition. Because in so doing, the government handed Mr. Golding the right to credibly say this is an administration that believes itself above criticism. Walking out was the wrong call. It was the wrong call as a matter of governance, and it was the wrong call as a matter of politics. And in Tono, while I have the greatest sympathy for the Prime Minister as a man not standing for his wife being attacked and bullied, there was no need for all the government members to leave such that the House could not maintain its quorum. That was an act of raw political retribution. We do not punish parliamentary speech in this country simply because it makes us uncomfortable. And we certainly do not punish it, of all places, on the floor of the House of Representatives itself. That's not acceptable. The bar is higher than that. It has to be. And so, when I take it all together, Tana, the 2-hour presentation, the walkout, the finishing the speech on Duke Street, the press conference at West Kings House Road, taken all together, Mr. Golding showed up yesterday. He had his moment. And there's just no two ways about that. That's what's on my mind.